All right, now it's live.
Hello,
live.
YouTube. Hello.
Hey guys. Hey,
All of our friends watch this, right?
I literally think no one watches this.
Bob watches. Hi, Bob.
I hope people get alerts that this is live right now.
I hope they do, because I didn't.
I didn't either. You gotta subscribe.
All right, start us off.
All right. Welcome to the Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatar, joined alongside J-Dog.
Mike, it's good to see you. We're coast to coast and a little bit different time right now. Today is August 28th. Mm-hmm. However, sports aren't happening really across the board, just like it's March. It's like it's March again.
Yeah, sports aren't happening. Everybody kind of shut it down. I thought all sports were going to end. And then the next morning I woke up and said, no, they're going to come back.
Yeah.
So I got a little scared, but I'm glad everybody's doing it. They have a platform. It's the place to do it because they're literally the only ones on TV right now. And I think it's what they need to do. So, and they're doing
I agree. I love it. I think it's so cool that the NBA is leading the charge again. Think back to COVID, who was the ones who said, okay, this is getting bad, let's stop. And they did it again. So props to the NBA for leading in social change, leading the culture battle with the other sports. They get it more than anyone else. And props to the Milwaukee Bucks. Like I was ready to watch Bucks Magic the other day, a playoff game, a big deal, right? And the Bucks don't take the floor. And it was like crazy. Magic warming up, Bucks aren't there. And they had the boycott. They were on the phone with the attorney general in the state of Minnesota when they should have been playing a playoff game like that. That's what it's about. Like, good for them. Thanks for doing that. And, you know, it happened to all sports. So all the other sports followed, baseball and soccer and NHL. I kind of wish it was more universal, right? There was like some games happening, some not. Like, why are some playing, some not? I don't know. That's kind of weird.
It was like all of a sudden it happened, and then we didn't know if it was like was the NHL going to be on board with this, and they did, but it was like all of a sudden this happened, and I think it made a statement, and I think it was great. And there's no sports. I think sports maybe come back next week. I think
NBA's come back Saturday, so that'd be like three days and nights off, which is significant. And NHL, I haven't heard. Baseball, I think there might be some games tonight, maybe not all of them. Props to those with a platform. Like we have a platform, but it's to a little less people than the NBA. So
I mean, somebody watches.
I mean, I don't think us boycotting the show is going to do much at this point, but we do stand in solidarity and we support everyone who does.
Let's get into some into sports. So I have like a really random story if you want to do some bullshit or believe real quick.
Perfect. Let's do it.
All right, there it is. Bullshit or believe time. Bullshit or believe time. Bullshit or believe. All right, Jeremy. So this is a weird one. Have you heard of OnlyFans? Are you a paying member of OnlyFans? Do you have an OnlyFans?
I'm a firm believer not to pay for that kind of thing. So I don't pay for OnlyFans, but I'm very, very aware.
Okay, so OnlyFans, if for people that are listening that have never heard of OnlyFans, it kind of had a spark during the first initial wave of quarantine. There were all these people out of jobs. All these people wanted to, make a little more money. And now people are making tons of money on OnlyFans. You're kind of getting naked, but some people also just like cook and clean and just send you photos. It's really weird stuff.
I thought it was all nudity, sex-based.
I think it is, but there's those like weird fetishes like cook for me or something like that. I saw a post yesterday. Somebody was like cooking in their kitchen. They were getting, $20 a month to watch this person cook in their kitchen. But Plaxico Burress, former New York Giants player, made an OnlyFans. He's up there trying to make some money. I didn't subscribe. I didn't know if we wanted to make like a joint.
You could have expensed it, for the Sports Hangover to just do some market research on OnlyFans.
Wasn't sure about it because all these other there's another actress that made like $2 million. This is like the next version of Patreon. Remember when we did our Patreon video?
Yeah.
Long time ago.
We had money coming in for a while. This is the 20 version of it. So what is Plaxico doing? We don't know if he's like doing weird pictures or just normal stuff.
Plaxico was the guy that he shot himself in the leg, right?
At a club. He had a gun in his pocket at the club going down the stairs. That kind of set back his NFL career when he shot himself in the leg.
Little bit. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing on OnlyFans, but maybe we expense it. You're traveling, so you got a lot of more time on your hands because you're gonna be traveling a little bit. So I was thinking maybe you should sign up. Let us know what Plaxico's doing on OnlyFans.
Well, I won't do that, and I can't relate to the situation, but I do know during the pandemic, dating is hard, and you might not be able to get yourself out there as much. So I do know OnlyFans has seen a real resurgence
Big
among
uptick.
users and the hosts of it. So both sides are really flying. I have another bullshitter, believe, Mike. Diana Rossini, one of ESPN's best reporters, I feel like she's really locked in. She says the Bucs won't make the playoffs this year, despite everything that has gone on this offseason.
The Buccaneers, not the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, they're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They'll resume their series soon. The Tampa Bay Bucks. I wanted to get bullshit or believe with her statement. The Bucs won't make the playoffs.
Oh, bullshit or believe? Will they not make? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say bullshit. I don't know how. Listen, I know Tom Brady's in his. He's old, but we wake up, we're sore. He's 10 years older than us, and he's out there getting hit by guys that are 300 pounds. Gronk is there. I don't know. Mike Evans, like they have a core of a team. I don't see why they can't make the playoffs. Now, the division's hard. They have the Saints. They have the Panthers. They have the Falcons. These are all teams that could kind of knock them off.
See, I don't think the division's that hard. I don't think the Falcons or Panthers are going to finish above 500. They might not finish 7-9. They could be 6-10 teams.
Who is the quarterback in Carolina now? Who went
Teddy
there?
Bridgewater. But
Teddy Bridgewater. Okay.
Their defense was terrible last year, and they invested a lot in the draft. Like every draft pick was defensive, but I'm not believing that. Their best receiver is DJ Moore. I don't know. I'm not seeing that.
But you don't think
the Saints are going to win the division. Can we agree on that?
I don't know. I mean, Drew Brees is old too.
Brees is back for one more run before he joins NBC Sports. Remember?
I know. He's getting that payday. I know.
I think we can agree that they won't. The Bucs won't win the division, and then you're saying there's only 2 wild card spots. There's only 2 still.
Have we?
Right? Wait, is there 3 this year?
I don't know.
Is that starting this year? It might be. Yeah.
You know the thing that bothers me the most about this year? There is no pregame. There's no like preseason, so I don't know who to really draft. Who's going to get hurt on the first day when we play the game?
Yeah.
Because somebody's going to get hurt when I draft this player. Like I was looking at my team from last year. We have a like semi-keeper league. I drafted terribly. I should have been the one getting punished this year. I had
saw
players
that too.
that didn't even play. I spent $50 on a player that never played.
Who didn't play?
Antonio, well, he played like one snap. Antonio Brown. I should have traded him away after that.
You were hyping him so hard. Raiders, big year. Oh, God, that was a disaster.
It ended up actually being the best game when he was playing for the Patriots.
He had one.
Yeah, one good game. I don't know. I just think
it's hard.
This year, it's really going to be tough to have a football league go into full speed one game in, and this is what we're expecting. I think it's going to give advantages to teams that have older players on it, like Tom Brady, to make the playoffs. Maybe the Drew Breeses and all those guys that have maybe been together, and it makes me worried for fantasy too. Like if you have Mike Evans and Tom Brady doesn't trust Mike Evans yet, but guess who he does trust? Gronk, which I will be drafting for sure. I think
Gronk has a bad year, but you're trying to hate on Drew Brees. He's got Michael Thomas. He's got his guy, and Brady's got to start fresh. So maybe that should be an advantage to the incumbents. If you're telling me the Bucs are going to make the playoffs, then you're telling me like the Packers, the Vikings, the Eagles aren't going to make the playoffs. I'm not here for that discussion. So I think the Bucs are out. And I have confirmed there's 3 wild card teams. We are going to 7 teams in each conference.
There are 3. Okay,
that's great. Super exciting.
Okay.
I think the Bucs won't make it. I think the Eagles will be a wild card. I think the Seahawks and 49ers, one of them will be a wild card. I think Vikings or Packers, one of them is. So I've got the Bucs on the outside. I agree with my girl Diane.
I disagree. I think they're going to make the playoffs, so we can maybe make a bet on it. But did you see Josh Gordon on the 49ers, or is that fake news? I don't know if that was real. I saw a post about it.
I haven't seen that. Do you just believe everything you see now?
But it was from like a trusted NFL source.
No, I haven't. If it was trusted,
I hope it's real. I'm going to draft him.
So they lost Emmanuel Sanders in the offseason. He's on the Saints now, by the way. Another weapon for Drew Brees. Who do the Niners have for pass catching?
I thought Goodwin, but I don't know if Goodwin is like there anymore. Like, remember when we were hyped on him one year?
Yeah, that was a mistake.
That was a big mistake.
That was bad.
Kittle's basically their only weapon there.
Yeah, Kittle's the guy. Jimmy G could be in for another rough time.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be good. What else you got? You got J-Dog takes on or anything?
I have a fantasy football segment. Let's transition to that.
We'll do that.
If money talks,
Mike, it is surprising, but it's football season. You were just sharing with me some of your draft knowledge, your draft strategy. I did just screenshot that, so I do have proof of what you're working on over there. Yeah, I'm going to send that out to the group. You're going to sell your draft board. I'm going to sell your information there. So I wanted to share, I'm a very accomplished fantasy football league manager. I've won multiple titles. I know you don't know the feeling of that.
I've never won.
That's sad. You and our lawyer friend, you two have been playing as long as us, which is a long time, since before the internet. And I don't know what you guys are doing. Okay, so these are my 5 rules for draft day. Why don't you just give me your take on each one as I run through them? Is that all right?
Well, as a professional fantasy footballer myself, I will give you my best version of what I can give you here. Did you froze on me? Are you here? Oh, no. J-Dog, we froze live. Okay. Well, J-Dog is gone. Where did you go? All right. Okay. Jeremy's internet is down. There you are. All right. Well, now give us your fantasy football.
We'll just pick it up. I'm sure you reacted to what I said.
I did. I said I was going to try to give you my best, but I'll do it again.
All right, Mike, here it is.
All right, All right, start over.
All right, Mike, here it is. Number 1 on the list. Give me your thoughts. If you believe in a player, take him when you can. Don't worry about the value. The experts, they don't really know the truth. If you believe in someone, you can be your own expert. Don't worry about Matthew Berry's list. Trust your gut.
So last year, I trusted my gut. Didn't work out for me. I would say do your research a little bit because sometimes your gut doesn't actually tell you what's going on. I drafted Antonio Brown, who was $50. That's a lot of my salary cap to waste on a player that played twice. So there's risk to reward. I took a risk. I did not get paid in high rewards. So I would say I half believe that if they were playing bullshit or believe here.
Mike, you might have a bad gut. I don't know because
bad gut. Yeah, you're right.
I think a lot of our viewers and listeners have better guts is all I'm going to say.
Yes,
okay.
I agree.
Number 2, take running backs on good teams and wide receivers on bad teams. You think about the fourth quarter of games, the running backs with the lead, they're going to get fed garbage time. The receivers down 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, they're going to get all these extra yards that another receiver is not getting. Think about the situation when you're drafting the skill positions.
I 100% agree on that, but sometimes it's hard. And sometimes different teams do you want Le'Veon Bell this year? I have no idea. It's a terrible team. But I'm kind of tempted and curious. Do I want Le'Veon Bell? And I probably not. But he's not a sexy team, but he's a decent player. So I'm kind of torn between those two.
The good thing about Le'Veon, he's a pass catcher, so you can almost look at him like he's a receiver on a bad team. Then you can talk yourself into it. Here's my number 3 rule: Get yourself a piece of the best offenses. If you leave your draft and you don't have a Kansas City Chief or a New Orleans Saint, a Tampa Bay Buck, maybe a Dallas Cowboy, maybe a Raven, you did it wrong. What do you think about making sure you have a piece? It's like a stock, right? Apple, Amazon, they're flying high. If you don't have a piece of it, you're not going to win.
I 100% agree. I'm going into the pre-draft right now with a Kansas City player and a Raven player. So I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
That's smart. That's good stuff. I love the Chiefs offense. Get yourself a receiver, a back, or the quarterback.
Do you know anything about this running back that's there, a rookie?
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yes. I feel like he's going to be a hot piece, a commodity that everybody's going to want a piece of. We're not seeing any footage of him. We're not seeing anything. It scares me the most this year, because the dumbest person in our league, who maybe lost it twice this year. Remember Brian lost it 2 years in a row.
Wow, just doxing guys.
Just calling him out. Brian lost it 2 years in a row. If he goes after him, is it a dumb? Do you avoid it at all costs? Like if the dumbest player in your league goes after a player, do you avoid that player at all costs? I'm re-asking you a question.
That's kind of a good rule, I think. And vice versa. If J-Dog is going after a guy, that makes you want to go after him, right? Because I have an eye for talent. I could see that. But rookies are like anyone. Like it's a toss-up, like you said. We've only seen him in college. The Chiefs, a very smart team. Clearly, they thought highly enough to take a running back in the first round. Are running backs going first round anymore? No. Why'd they take this guy? Well, they must think he's very special. So that's something to think about. He was a national champion at LSU. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a great pick, Mike. And especially you have salary cap. I think you should go for him, to be honest. Okay. Number 4. This one affects a lot of people in our league, including our mutual friend, probably a lot of our listeners. Don't get so hammered during the draft that you don't realize you have 2 players on the same team. For example, if you take Michael Thomas in the first round and then you're celebrating, you're doing shots, you're chugging beers, and then like 5th round, it's time for Emmanuel Sanders and you grab him, not realizing you just grabbed the 2 Saints receivers, for example, like avoid that situation. Like maybe drink a little slower so you're not in that situation.
So you just called out another player in a fantasy league, our mutual friend who is in it. He tends to drink heavily during the drafts. He thinks
also not during drafts too.
Yeah, yes, that too. But we're doing like this for people that don't know. We're doing like this semi-keeper, and we decided to take it totally off ESPN because we're insane, and we're doing a live auction draft on an Excel board because we love pain. We love to torture ourselves. We're gonna sit on the fucking Zoom link for 7 hours drafting people. And as it goes on, people get really antsy and really annoyed and drunk. And that's what we're going to do for 7 hours on Saturday.
That's true. You know that it's going to be 2 a.m. Eastern here. I'm still going to be drafting,
yes.
Like falling asleep, still needing to get my sleepers late in the draft. It is torture, like you said. Okay, number 5, my last rule for your draft. I hope you're drafting this weekend or next weekend. Do not draft list. I'm ready to debut it for you, Mike. I have a few players here. Do not draft.
Okay,
I mentioned one last week. Our boy Lenny Fournette. No matter what position you're in, if it's late in the day, don't draft Leonard Fournette. Another running back that might surprise you, but a guy I've never owned and will never own. I don't believe in the offense or the team. It's Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry on the Titans. I'm not buying what Ryan Tannehill is selling.
Why not Derrick Henry? Why not Tannehill if you don't buy what Tannehill's like? Derrick Henry's like, he literally looks like a monster next to Mark Ingram, like a literal monster. Like I don't even know how tall Derrick Henry is, but he's a beast of a human being.
His whole career, he's always been hurt. Going back to college at Alabama, he was hurt. He was healthy for one playoff run, and now he got paid, and now he's going like in the first round of drafts. Something's not right here. The stock, again, back to the stock market, it's overvalued, and someone's going to take him higher than they should. It's not going to work out. Another one, I've owned him before. I'll never own him again. I've lost all faith in the system and the offense. It's Julio Jones and the Falcons. I'm out on that team. I'm out on Julio. He's too expensive, and he's super skilled on his own on an island. He's skilled. Put him in that system. He has so many games where he has 2 catches for 30 yards. You're like, why the hell did I spend a first-round pick on him?
It's all Matty Ice. It's his problem. Matt Ryan is the problem. That's what it is.
Another receiver, I've always said I won't own him. Less of a problem this year because he's injury prone, but he is back on the Bengals. It's A.J. Green. I know Joe Burrow's there. I know the offense has more light. I'll never own A.J. Green. I might take a Joe Burrow piece. I think Joe Burrow will be good for the Bengals. A.J. Green won't be on the field enough to reap the benefit.
I own a piece of the Bengals offense, which is really depressing. But I think Joe Burrow, the problem is with all these rookies this year, there is no game speed trial run. Like, hey, let's get him out there. Like, let him play a few rounds with like another team that actually wants to like take his head off.
Yeah.
I think this year is going to be so tough to know. And I'm doing the super contest, and I don't know how you analyze a team going into the first week. I do have some notes. Like, if you ever wanted some like great facts to start off a season, I'm not going to give all my stats away. I'm going to give them out through the week. But week 1 is coming up. I'm going to give you this stat, and it's going to blow your mind.
Okay.
Week 1, divisional dogs. If you blindly bet them since 2000, it hits 56% of the time. Blindly bet, it's 17-4-1 against the spread.
That's crazy. So that's your
just
strategy for week one, because you need a strategy. And I
yes.
think it's going to play into that more than ever, because we don't know who's good or not. The odds makers are less in touch with things than ever. The lack of information during COVID is just like the draft. We didn't know what was going to happen during the draft because there's no one spreading rumors. No one's around.
And I will say this year, you're going to get some value on some games because not everybody, Vegas will not be controlling the push and the pull of the money coming in, because there's not going to be as many people in Vegas pulling the numbers up and pulling the numbers down. So I think this year you can get some value. If you see it, take it, because it's going to be a wild year. I don't know what's going to happen, but blindly bet those divisional dogs this year. Just take them, all the divisional dogs.
All year or just week one?
Week one. That's the only stat I have. I'll give you some more stats throughout the season. Okay,
you'll update us. Yeah. I know. This is gonna be a really hard year for the Super Contest, but maybe it's good because you're not like the best better ever. Maybe.
Okay.
No, maybe it'll just make it easier for you is what I'm saying. Because in normal situations, you haven't won before, so maybe it's not really normal. So that'll elevate you. Like you can benefit off of it.
Okay. Well, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Okay. We'll see. I mean, I thought we were pretty good last year. We ended up in second. It was pretty good.
What percentage were you guys at?
We were over 50%. That's all you need to win. I don't know at what 50%. We can bring on, our mutual friend who does it with me, and he can really run down the numbers.
Why we do have a rich friend who is not interested in investing in your brain power and your picks. So there is a little asterisk when you say how good of a better you are.
I know. I got some Scandal City. You want to do that, or are you done?
Yeah, let's do it.
Fantasy football.
I'm done. Those are my rules.
Time to dig up the dirtiest stories around the sport world in this week's Scandal City.
I really should just go back to all my rules from last. Remember, I had my fantasy football hacks where I was like, how to cheat the system.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring those
not
back.
not like a hack, like draft this guy. It's like a cheat your friends out of money and everything.
One that comes to mind really quickly. Drafts are happening this weekend. Hype up a player that's fucking terrible, and people will draft them. So look out for me this weekend. I will be hyping the shit out of terrible players.
So you hate Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That's why you brought him up to me to hype him up.
Maybe,
okay,
maybe.
Good stuff.
Maybe. Throwing things out there. Okay, this segment is called "What the hell is going on with Earl Thomas?" That's what I want to know. This is all about Scandal City. A lot of stuff happened.
Wow, that's a loaded question, isn't it?
Yeah. So we can go back to when Earl Thomas was on the Seahawks, flicked off Pete Carroll. They then traded Earl Thomas away. He was on the Ravens. Then on the Ravens, he had a threesome with his brother. Then he supposedly was late to practice and then fought somebody on the team. And now the team just let him go. Now, the team could also be up for $15 million if they don't somehow get somebody to take over the contract, or they're suing him. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's a guaranteed contract.
So then Earl Thomas came out and posted something on Instagram during the fight and called him out, and then also said I was getting my car washed and that's why I was late, and then fought somebody. What's going on with Earl Thomas? That's what I want to know, Jeremy. That's the timeline of Earl Thomas.
I am not a qualified psychiatrist to answer that question. The guy is off his rocker, and for the Ravens to eat $15 million, he's a good player. There's no reason under normal circumstances you would do that. For them to release him, and they released him a week ago, Mike, and no one signed him. So that's how you know things are shitty when there's teams all over the league. I mean, the Browns, for example, they just lost their second round pick, a safety who's going to start for them, Grant Delpit. They need a safety, and they don't even sign him.
Wow, I think that research. I don't even know who that player was.
Exactly. I think Earl Thomas is messed up in the head, unfortunately, and this is actually a serious issue because we know the NFL players and the hits that they take and the mental issues that come with that, and the information, the research that's coming out about brain damage. It's kind of scary that he's gone down this road so far because, Mike, he's always been a violent hitter. You got to consider that. He's always been the guy to lay down the law in the backfield.
I guess I was thinking about it more of his ego has gotten to him, and you see a lot of players like this, like Terrell Owens and all these players that kind of I'm the greatest, I'm the best, I'm not going to deal with your bullshit, and you're going to keep me no matter what because I'm that good. So I think somebody like that, do you want them on your team? And the Seahawks are always a team that take chances on players that are high risk, I guess, right?
Yeah.
They were in the mix for Antonio Brown. They got Josh Gordon. They want these players that are we can make you a better player and a person when you come to us because we have the structure for it. I don't know, at some point, do you have the resources, the money, I guess, as a team, or the time that deal with some asshole on your team when you have no practices this year? I have no preseason games. You have nothing to go into, and you're like, well, he's a good player. Do we have him on our team? I don't know if it's worth it. Like, is it better to have a good locker room or a star player? And I don't really know. I don't know what teams qualify as like, this is what they value.
I mean, we found out with Antonio Brown last year, he's still a good player, but how many teams gave up on him? So that kind of answers your question. I think you have to fit in. If you're going to be a problem, it's not really worth it unless you're like Patrick Mahomes, and he's no problem at all.
No, Patrick Mahomes is no problem. That's all I got in Scandal City. I do have some food news. You got anything else?
No, let's do food news.
Food news.
Here's what I found. Here's some news for food news.
All right. This is a weird food news, but I'm browsing TikTok a lot, Instagram, checking things out. Coffee seltzer is the next wave of tonics or something that's coming along. People are putting seltzer with their coffee. I have a recipe for it. I'm going to try it out this weekend. It kind of sounds good. It's almost like if you had iced coffee, but with bubbles in it. I'm just not really sure what that's going to do to it. People seem to love it.
It sounds a little harsh for the morning. Like no one drinks soda in the morning. At least normal people don't. It just feels a little harsh with the carbonation, Mike. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I drink a little bubbly water in the morning, just like still bubbly water. It's kind of nice.
I don't switch to bubbly till lunchtime. I do want to mention though that a new trend for me for caffeine with carbonation is we're seeing like AHA. Have you seen AHA has caffeine in it? That's made by Dasani. It's like bubbly with caffeine. So it's more of like a lunchtime pick-me-up. If you don't want coffee later in the day, you don't want to drink soda with the calories and sugar. And there's another one that I have in my fridge right now. I forget the brand. So it's actually like a carbonated like fruit drink, 0 calories, but has caffeine in it.
I like that. I've been doing these little shots called Magic Mind, which get you really amped up and focused. Mushrooms, caffeine. It's really, really good.
Wait, you're doing shrooms?
There's some mushrooms in the, not like magic mushrooms, but just regular mushrooms that kind of help you. But it's pretty good. Yeah, it's I think this could be a fun way to switch it up because it doesn't, sometimes coffee gets a little stale. Like, oh, I want this, or it's a hot day. Maybe a little cold, bubbly coffee. That sound good. I could see it.
I could see it. Listen, anything to get folks out of the soda game is going to be good. I was deep in the soda game for a while. Deep. I'm a sugar fiend myself. Mm-hmm. And if you'd have told me like a few years ago that I could go months without soda, I'd say, fuck you. But now, Mike, I've been months without soda and it's fine.
And what's your go-to drink now? Like, where were you drinking soda before?
Lunch. Like, oh, I'm so stressed. I need caffeine. Now there's other ways to get caffeine. There's a cold brew iced coffee with no sugar or anything that you can drink. You can drink these caffeine bubbly drinks. There's other ways to get caffeine. Don't be a psycho and say you need the sugar with it because the caffeine will bring you up. The sugar will bring you right back down.
That's true. All right. Well, that's it. That's all we got. Check out popline.co. Tons of blogs up there. Maybe Jeremy will put some rules up. You want to post a little rule thing so people can follow along?
It's a good idea. I might sabotage myself, but I'll do it for the clicks, Mike.
Maybe after the draft, I will post my cheat sheet that everybody can use on Popline that everybody can kind of go through. It's like a super cool Excel, and you can type in names. There'll be notes and links to players. I love it. I mean, I'm going to kill the draft this year. I'm going to win. I'm just letting you know. And follow us on popline.co on Instagram. And we're going to rest of most of the reviews. Hopefully, we are back next week.